Well, I was motivated by the fact that the program resonates with my work. I work at the National Coordination Mechanism on Migration, which is an entity under the State Department for Immigration and Citizen Services. And basically, we do coordination of migration governance among stakeholders, among the MDAs, and we use a whole of society and whole of government approach. So I was driven by my desire to learn the various dynamics of migration and the complexities around it.
I was initially approached by ICMBD on the program. We didn't know that such programs existed. Although we have a great cooperation with several entities from the EU and international partners, but I was highly motivated to know about the academic side of this program, and it has been so proliferate so far.
The migration data session stood out for me because in Kenya right now we are just beginning to harmonize migration data and to have solid data from various sectors. Right now the data that exists in silos. So it came in when it comes to data management and how this data can also be transformed into policy decision making. That was a very outstanding session for me. Probably one of the skills that I managed to get from it is how to consolidate a digital migration data system and a format on how to create a migration database, a national one, that would be readily accessible to all the concerned stakeholders and players in the migration ecosystem.
One important or a key session, it's the one that we're taking now on irregular migration, because this is suffering. This is something that we are suffering from as Iraqi with the EU. It's just substantial to get this kind of knowledge and information to be distributed. But the program, and as an overall, it extends far beyond the realm of academia. It goes way beyond practicality and the debate and everything. I think it's a culture. The culture of MMDP, it's the knowledge that everyone brings to the table, because we come from different backgrounds, wide area of countries that are contributing. So, and each one contributes from his position, his background on different aspects of the field of migration itself. Yes, from the perspective of the countries of origin as well as countries of destination, because sometimes a country cannot only be a country of destination. In the case of Iraq, it is actually both a sending and a receiving country. So there is a great deal of emigration into that.
When you have that peer-to-peer learning, you have a wide range of experiences and best practices from various participants. Like personally, there are very many perspectives that I had not heard of or gotten experience on. But the perspectives I got from the participants, especially from the participants from Asia, one participant also from Suriname, which brought a perspective from the North America, and also the West African experiences, I realized, are very, very different from the East African experience. So that peer-to-peer learning came in handy in terms of that. So that you can know how to handle different migrants in your country and also different migrants that you're sending to other countries, and also to understand their situation. I'll just give an example. Kenya is mostly a transit country for irregular migration, and for a very long time we have not been able to fully understand the dynamics that push the migrants, especially from the eastern horn of Africa, to transit through Kenya. But now with the peer-to-peer learning, it gives you a sense of empathy. You put yourself in their shoes and you understand on how to handle these migrants in a more humane way. especially within the, first of all, within the East African region. I've been able to meet participants from the Eastern region, Eastern Africa region, and these would also go a long way in making policies, especially when we want to make cross-border policies which usually are made. It is also important for resource and knowledge sharing, and also sharing of best practices which we usually share in the region. For example, we usually share experiences from various national coordination mechanisms in the region. Now it is a good point to have interacted with these participants and have them as a point of contact. And also from the other regions, it was also very important to meet them, and it was a great way of knowing their migration dynamics, and just in case these dynamics come to us, we'll be able to handle them more effectively now that I have the knowledge, especially when it comes to the formulation of migration policies. Yeah.
I have learned a lot, actually. I have learned what to do in certain situations and in situations that we have not encountered yet. So this will contribute to the reservoir of knowledge of how are we going to act upon a crisis, or upon a certain, or in any given situation of maybe a climate change, because this is something that we have not encountered yet. But some of the other colleagues have mentioned that they have this climate migration. So this is something that may contribute greatly to our next step in the managing the migration. Also, one thing that stood out is the great deal of experience that everyone brings to the table when it comes to mainstreaming migration into development. Everyone brought their individual experiences as well as their country, I would say, procedures and standard operating procedures and measures to the table. It is something to, as I said, to contribute to a lot of knowledge.
And now that you're part of this cohort, this international cohort, how important are the relationships that you're building?
It's very important because when you come to look at it, we're in countries of origin. So sometimes you would need to work with your colleagues from Pakistan, because we have a lot of migration from Pakistan and Iraq right now. So that would facilitate a lot of the things when it comes to identifying citizens, when it comes to requesting an emergency travel document, and so on. And it goes the same with other Arabic countries and African countries. So with Tunisia, we have this kind of situation where visa is not really facilitated for students and so on. So this network would contribute greatly into these causes. I would strongly advise to pursue this as a target, because for me it has been a game changer. I have learned a lot. As I said, we didn't know anything about academia, and this is something that we will be pursuing. We will be trying to integrate the academia into the system that existed. But I do strongly advise to pursue this, because it provides not only, what we do is an ad hoc situation of personal assessment and individual cases. Sometimes you want to do something that is policy-wise, or from a policy-wise perspective, that you want to integrate that into your development plan on several levels. So in order to do that, you need to get academia involved, because the type of research that they do is very important to make an informed decision on such policies.
I would also like to encourage all the stakeholders in Kenya, all the stakeholders in the migration sector, to apply for this course, because it's very important for migration governance. And I would also advise that when they come here, they interact freely and in-depth in and out of class with the participants, because most of the knowledge also that we share is not shared just in class, but For this cohort, most of the knowledge also was shared outside class in informal conversations. So I would encourage them to interact more both inside and outside the classroom.